Representative Jarvis, welcome to the program here. Let's start with a question why on all of this. Prairie View and Texas Southern students get $2,500 less per student than UT and Texas A&M. That gap has doubled in the last year. Why isn't there more equality here?
They've used the formula funding as a reason and a justification for why this gap continues to increase. That formula funding was only created for those flagship institutions and asking Prairie View and Texas Southern to do more with less. There is no way Texas Southern and Prairie View will be able to reach the levels of research dollars, the levels of opportunities for doctoral candidates, all of those formula funding mechanisms that are in place, in my estimation, have been in place that have obviously created this gap and will never allow Texas Southern and Prairie View or even other smaller institutions to catch up.
Representative Johnson, I called you by your first name a moment ago. I apologize for that, but lay out this formula funding for folks who aren't familiar with how higher education is paid for in the state.
That's a Greek book made up of Greek letters that you don't understand, and I think it was done purposely. And I think it's a very difficult formula to understand. But essentially, it's based on graduation rates. It's based on retention rates. Is based on the number of research institutions that you have, schools that you have, and all of that looks at it. But let's just take the smallest, easiest, most digestible formula, and that is graduation rates and attendance. So what they're looking at is how can a student graduate within 4 years of entering into college? Well, the Texas Southern and the Prairie View have a different dynamic. They're having students that oftentimes are first generation college students. They also have students that have to work full-time jobs and then go to school. They have students that are also providing for their families and so forth and so on. So the graduation rates, because Texas Southern and Prairie View educate a different population of students, will never be able to keep up with the 4-year graduation rate.
Let me ask you this last question briefly here, just final seconds. Do you have any hope that these universities will ever achieve parity?
I'm always keep hope. That's the reason why I fight. I'm going to always keep hope. But when we look at this disparity, when we look at two land-grant colleges here in Texas, right, Prairie View and Texas A&M, we fund Texas A&M to the full freight of $194 million when the federal government says you only need to give them 94. Well, we give them 194. Prairie View received $23 million from the federal government. We're supposed to match those dollars, and we only matched that with $4 million. That in itself shows me that we still have disparity and that we still look at these institutions as, well, we don't need to give them all of the money, and yet we're asking them to do more with less, when simply we're supposed to be being fair across the board. So yes, situations like that make me cringe and make me upset, but it also fuels my fire to keep fighting and to keep bringing this type of information across the state to say that if we want the best for our students, if we want the best for our graduates, then we should be providing for all.
Representative Johnson, this is a fight we will keep watching. Thank you for the time.
Thank you.